Hello everybody, this is David. Welcome back to my channel. Well, this is a continuation of our series 7 Reasons Why I Believe, and the subset which is 7 Reasons Why I Believe in the Virgin Birth of Jesus Christ. And we got to reason number 6, and reason number 6 is I believe in the Virgin Birth because the supernatural sinlessness of Jesus Christ confirms his supernatural birth. Now let's ask the question, can any age, any era, any creed, any culture, any country, any people produce a sinless man? Not any age, any era, any creed, any culture, any country, or any people group is able to show us one of their offspring and declare, here is a sinless man. Humanity has brought forth from its great womb famous men, mighty men, courageous men, wise men, but sinless men, never. From the north, from the south, from the east, and from the west, they come to be scrutinized, generation succeeding generation, but each and all are scarred by sin. A universal malady pollutes everyone. The whole of mankind is born in sin and shapen in iniquity. There is none righteous, no, not one. Of them all it can be recorded accurately, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, as we read in the book of Romans chapter 3 verse 23. In strange contrast to all the sons of men of every age stands Jesus Christ. Looking up to the heavens, he calls for the scrutiny of God and affirms boldly, I do always those things that please him, as we read in the book of John chapter 8 verse 28. Heaven confirms his testimony, and the Father answers, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased, as we read in Matthew chapter 3 verse 17. Where before did heaven ever testify to the sinlessness of a man? Looking into the spirit world, he faced the assault of Satan, but affirmed boldly in John chapter 14 verse 30, for the prince of this world is coming and has found nothing on me. The demons confirmed his testimony in Luke chapter 4 verse 34. We know who you are, the Holy One of God. Where did Satan and the demons ever testify verbally before to the sinlessness of a man? Looking around at his enemies and seeing their malice and hatred towards him, he affirms boldly in John chapter 8 verse 46, which one of you convicts me of sin? His enemies all confirmed his testimony as they shrank away from him in shame as he challenged them. He that is without sin, let him cast the first stone, as we read in John chapter 8 verse 7. Where did a man's enemies ever before testify to his sinlessness? Surely it is reasonable to believe that he who is the one and only exception to the universal law must of necessity have had an exceptional birth. In the very virgin's womb he was called holy by the angel Gabriel, and that could only be if the conception was by the Holy Spirit. Professor Reinhold Seeberg, who was a German theologian, said this, and I quote, if we now look at the resistance we men make to God and see how our whole nature, burdened and weakened by the long inheritance of sinful tendencies and habits, opposes the will and the truth of God, we can hardly understand how a man who has that tendency towards evil in him from his birth could become the instrument of God in the way that Jesus did. The more closely we become acquainted with the man Jesus, with the absolute truth of his words, with the perfect union of his will with the divine will within him, with the freshness and originality of his powerful human individuality, the more loudly does the question arise whether this man really could have originated like all other men, open from the first to evil and inclined towards it. Here is the point where the history of the miraculous birth of Jesus comes in. It solves for us a riddle which is much greater than the riddle which itself presents to us. End of quote. To the enemies of this great doctrine of the virgin birth, I issue a challenge. Where in all time did a natural birth produce a sinless personality? The supernatural sinlessness of Christ confirms for me his supernatural birth, confirms his virgin birth. So I want to thank you for joining me in this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.